Um, this is going to be very difficult, but I'm going to do my best. I've realized what my purpose is. And in order to fully go beyond my own faith and build a renewed faith in God, I have to obey His will. And He's made it very clear to me what His will is. He has brought me through the fire, through the trial. And He's turned me from a victim to a survivor. And now I feel I must transition into a warrior. I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to give you the what, and I'm going to give you the why. The what is my story. The fire and the trial that I went through. And I'm going to tell you the why. Why I believe I went through it and why I have to share it. When I was 9 years old, I was sexually abused by somebody I thought I loved and trusted, somebody I considered family. I was betrayed by somebody who was meant to protect me and failed to do so. And that is the story I'm going to tell you all. Why I'm doing it, it's two very simple reasons. One, because that is what I believe my mission is. There were 2 times in my life when I was supposed to die and I did not, because God has designed a mission for me and I am to fulfill it. He's always instilled me with the courage to do so. I just didn't know it until I myself became a mother and I realized I have far more courage than I ever realized. And also because there are, to this day, every day, all day long, children suffering. They are suffering in silence. They're confused, they're scared, and they're waiting. For a long time, I thought this was something that was not necessarily rare, but something that didn't happen that often. It was every few people experience this type of abuse, but it's not common. And I had a rude awakening when the Epstein files were released, and I learned that it's not just everyday nobodies that are pedophiles. It's some of the most powerful people in the world. And that makes this form of abuse incredibly dangerous. And for whatever reason, children, the most innocent souls you could think of, end up being the victims more often than not, because of the fact that they are not able to discern, and because of the fact that they're not able to defend themselves, and because of the fact that they don't yet have a voice to express themselves. So I've come into an agreement with God that I will use my voice. And I will bleed my heart out for these children who need someone to advocate for them, someone to speak for them, and someone to create more awareness. I know there's awareness, but we can never have too much awareness when it comes to the abuse of children. It's not something we can ever stop talking about. It's not something that should ever be normalized. And if it makes you uncomfortable, it should, because it's wrong. It's not natural and it's wrong. And all adults have a responsibility to do something about it. I I think it's important to understand that not only do these things happen, but the victims don't just suffer, they suffer silently. They don't tell anyone what's happening. Sometimes they completely disassociate, like myself, just act like it's not happening. It's so horrible and so awful that you try to live a life where it's not real. And I want to touch on, maybe by the end of my story, getting into why these victims don't say anything. And I also want to encourage adults, moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, uncles, aunties, parent guardians, teachers, neighbors, to be vigilant and to have compassion for children and understand that a lot of them look to us for help. Even if they don't say anything, they don't know how, they don't even know that they need help. You have to be able to see the signs, and you have to be able to first be willing to open your mouth and say something, ask questions, have conversations, make children aware of what's appropriate and what is not. And I guess that's 3 whys. But those are my 3 whys. Because God told me to, because the children need it, and because enough adults are not taking accountability. That's all I have the courage to get out today. But I'm going to make this in parts because it's heavy and it's hard, and I myself still struggle. So I'm giving it my absolute best. And I just want to say to any little kids who might stumble upon this, you are loved, you are seen, you are heard, and you will not be left alone or left behind. I love you.